Welcome to a cruise ship heist. C94 No cover. Third sea day. The phone wakes me and I try and focus on it, but it's hiding behind an empty bottle of tequila. It stops before I can get there. I turn around. Georgie is sleeping like an angel, and I roll into her. The phone starts ringing again, and I don't want to move. Eventually, I pull it over to look at the time display. 10 o'clock. I leap out of bed. I'm on stage with Ali in an hour. I torture myself as to whether the clocks went forward, but surely that would reflect on the phone. The ship's phones must be right. Hello? We've got a murder, Hunter says. Who? I panic. Tony K. I sink with relief. It's not my daughter. The shower wakes me up. Then Georgie slips in. I thought you were worried about being pregnant. One of the girls has morning after pills. As much as I would enjoy washing your back, I have a show to do. Shall I wait? Third day at sea is my day off. Hunter wants me immediately I finish, I say, stepping out. The guard outside indicates the right cabin. I know him. He's one of Hunter's main men, and we acknowledge each other. Inside, Hunter is on the phone, and I gather it must be to the captain. It gives me a minute to look at Tony's body. He has been dead more than a few hours. The blood has dried. Without touching him, I can see he's bled out from left of mid-chest, maybe near his heart. It's a large wound from a sizable knife. Hunter ends his call and approaches me. Who found him? Cabin steward, Hunter says. He's with one of my staff back at the office. Until he can say natural causes without a twitch? Until he can't remember starting work this morning. You'd better go back and check cameras. Send down a body bag and laundry bags. I'll deal with all of this. Hunter leaves. I pull out my smartphone and photograph everything. I find and expose the single accurate wound, which is sideways, so the blade goes in between the rib cage with ease. I suspect a wide kitchen knife. I take pictures, then trace the wound onto paper. Hunter's man outside knocks, then hands me the bags Hunter has sent. I roll Tony onto the black body bag, zip it closed, and drag it to drop on the floor. Then bag up the sheets. Finally, I wash my hands and arms, check myself for blood splatter, then the carpet around the bed and the walls. There is none. But I don't think he was fully dressed laying conveniently on the bed. There is a glass of wine near the television. I feel it, and it's at room temperature. I open the fridge, and all the bottles in there are closed. The open bottle is outside on the balcony table. That is also warm. He has been dead for hours, probably after a late-night drink under the stars. There was a knock at the door, and he put the glass down by the television as he passed. Tracing the walls and carpet back from the door to the bed, there is not one drip. My guess is Tony's mouth was covered with the murderer's left hand, and he was thrust backwards and forced to the bed. Then, with the killer's right hand, the knife was plunged into the left side of his ribs. He was probably held down until he passed out, and the killer left as quickly as he entered, which means he carried a bag or a towel for the knife. This was done by someone big and powerful, and Tony didn't have any secret powers. I hear a commotion outside, and I recognize the voice as Jill's. She is the last person I want to discover me in here. Chapter 95 Quarantine. Tony's cell phone. It mustn't ring. I snatch it from the bedside cabinet, force the back off, and remove the battery. Then I work fast to silence my cell. The gentleman has neurovirus. He is in quarantine. He is sleeping. No one is allowed in. I hear the guards say outside. He's done his job well. I cross to the house phone and pull the cord out of the wall socket, then slip into the bathroom and do the same with the wall phone there. Jill may suspect he's under house arrest, but must have left, as the voices have stopped. She will start to worry, so I expect her plans to escalate. There's a knock at the door, and the guard enters. So the lady has gone. Mr. Wotowski would like you to ring him. I use my cell. Phillips, he asks. Done. Ready to move. 2 bags of very soiled sheets. The mattress needs covering, then moving. The carpet's fine. All photographed, I report. Good. Get yourself up here. My other men are on their way to do the get-out. Hunter has nothing displayed on any screen in his office, which surprises me. About 45 past midnight, he says. I concur. His bottle of wine is warm. Who did it? I ask. No idea. Camera system went down at 12:30. It was back at 5 past 1. I'd guess 5 minutes to do the job. Less. The killer came from 15 minutes away. Less if they were told to look for the money. Hunter agrees. I present my traced template of the stab wound. Large knife. Clean right-hand stab in the rib cage. The killer knew what they were doing. Doesn't strike me as Jill. Maybe Maria. But it was a 2-man job. While he did the hit, I suspect Maria was in here to disable the camera. Hunter offers. No one else could come in here. I had just shown her Jill and Tony stealing the money. So, Jill's next? No, Maria wants the money back. That was Jill's last warning. But Jill doesn't have the money, I say. No, she has a problem. Who is this Maria you got involved with? Hunter takes a breath, stands up, and avoids the question. We're exactly halfway across the Atlantic. 3 days out, 3 days in. We're out of flying range either way for at least 12 hours. I have no idea who Tony and Jill are working with. Let's keep an open mind. I am. I'm still hoping to walk away with some money. Chapter 96. Applause. There is a way of looking at a group of people which makes each one feel that you're accusing them. That's not to say it always works, but if someone is scared, they would need to remain very calm. Only a very cool, experienced operative would not reveal themselves. The kitchen is in full swing, and some have noticed us through the large glass window of the head chef's office, the one that allows him to observe the kitchen at work. Keep them working, Hunter tells the chef, his eyes constantly scanning the kitchen. The murderer used a wide blade knife, I explain, showing the chef the drawing of the wound. Japanese santoku knife, about 70 centimeters, he says, showing the length as a distance between 2 fingers, like a modest fisherman. It comes thin or wide like so. He points to my sketch as he leads us off. Wide knife will be with the meat chefs. Hunter, his trusted assistant, and I follow chef. We expect the killer, possibly a Latino hitman, to be mixed in with the multicultural kitchen staff. I doubt he is a chef who owns his own knives. Whoever he is, and we expect a man because of Tony's size, he must be neutralized. Security staff have been deployed to block the kitchen exits. As it could be a waiter, the restaurant entrance has been closed quietly without alarming the guests, and security staff are inside the door. Everyone has been warned how dangerous he is. They have been ordered to strike first, ask questions later. Most of all, they must protect the guests and the ship's staff at any cost. We follow the head chef through the service area. No one dares stop work. Service areas are refilled as waiters take plates away. Ovens are opened and closed. Trays are lifted in and out. The noise level rises with the interest at our presence. Quiet, the head chef shouts. Yes, chef, they all reply, then continue working in silence. Watch for hot fat, Hunter whispers. I nod to the chef. Ask. Who is missing a knife? He shouts. Me, chef. It went yesterday. Hunter sends his guard over to look. We know it won't be him. We watch the others react. Everyone here could have access to that position. but only one of them had to come to work today and act normal. "Get him!" Hunter shouts. We both burst up rather than forward, stamping our feet into the ground for noise. We appear big, but advance little. Our purpose is to shock, and we have no direction until someone breaks. A man darts away to our right and leaps the service area. Our direction is set. The target throws plates and twists trays into our path. He then barges 2 guards to the ground and leaps over them into the public dining area. Hunter and I leap the scrum on the floor at the same time, burst through the swing doors and pause. Lunching guests scream, and some scatter. Their eyes and heads turn to show the direction the killer took, and we both accelerate towards our objective. Predictably, the killer grabs a guest to hold as a hostage. But I act as I've been trained, and Hunter does the same. We are both totally different. The killer does not have a second to settle on an idea. I have put a foot on a chair that I knew the guest would vacate on my assault, my second foot on the table, and I spring at the killer. I take him down hard as Hunter takes hold of the guest safely. The double swoop is effective, and I have our target pinned to the ground. My thumb goes into the side of his neck, as we can't afford him to be unpredictable. He passes out. Hunter handcuffs him as his staff appease the shocked hostage. We have an unwanted audience. The maitre d' cleverly begins to applaud loudly, and the waiters are fast to follow. The guests join in. This will no doubt be my next lecture. The hardcore training on ship continues, with excitement in the restaurant. "Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy a glass of wine on the house," I announce. This time, I didn't play the bad guy. The crew would have been expecting that. A special round of applause to our security officer, Manoj. He played the bad guy today. He and I have been rehearsing that move. He said he was familiar with my leap. Cheek. I pause, as Ali did on stage, allowing the audience time to react. The security staff were tracking our thief. Didn't they do well? I know that when I look around, there will be no sign of Hunter or the killer, and the waiters will have redressed the table. All eyes are on me as they applaud. Everyone will know I was involved, including Jill.